Good morning everyone. Welcome to all of you to today's English class. In the previous class we have read Unit 1 and 2 of the chapter The Doctor's War written by R.K. Narayan. And today in this class we are going to read Unit 3 and Unit 4. Okay. But before starting Unit 3 and 4, let's focus on few points of Unit 1. Listen. In Unit 1, it is clearly mentioned regarding Dr. Raman. What type of doctor that Dr. Raman was? He was a very straightforward doctor. It means he was not doing any indecision and he was not whitewashing. Whatever the condition of the patient was, he was speaking on the face. Okay? He was not wavering. He was not speaking lie. But even when he was the best doctor, still patients were not coming to him because visiting fees was 25 rupees and people are thinking that something bad is associated with the name of Dr. Raman because patients were being brought to Dr. Raman at the last stage of their life. So, when they are being brought at the last stage of their life, now tell me one thing, is it practically possible that Dr. Raman can save all the patients? Because he is not a god, yes or no? So, here this is the reason that why people are not coming to Dr. Raman in the initial stage of their illness. And apart from this, people are also giving high importance to the words spoken by Dr. Raman because Dr. Raman was a truthful person. And people are not only considering him as a doctor who was giving opinion, but they were considering him as a judge who was giving the verdict. Okay, he was giving the decision. And patient's life was hanging on the words of Dr. Raman. And Dr. Raman was such a nice doctor that he was speaking the truth to the patient. At the same time, if he was able to say little bit hope in the survival of patient, he was trying his level best. He was going to the workplace and he was trying there unless and until he snatched the prize from the hands of Yama. Okay. This was in Unit 1. And Unit 2 it is written all about the classic friendship of Dr. Raman and Gopal. So, who are the two best friends? Dr. Raman and Gopal. Okay. And Dr. Raman was a doctor and he was a very renowned doctor. But whenever Dr. Raman was getting time from his busy schedule of life, he was coming. Gopal was going, okay, Gopal was going and Dr. Raman was also coming along with Gopal and they were dining together, they were taking food together, they were spending time with each other, they were going for a movie and they were focusing, they were discussing lots of things on their past life, on their present life and they might have also done some future plans. And here in Unit 3, listen, in Unit 2, I have told you one thing that something has happened because Dr. Raman was standing near the bed of Gopal and he was thinking that someone should speak him soothing lie because his friend, his best friend in the world is in the bed. He was laying down, he was not having any sense. It was an operation day, but in the meantime, what is mentioned that Dr. Raman get to know the illness of Gopal from Gopal's eldest son. Okay, he came to meet him to his clinic. Do you know skillful doctors are very calm even in adverse situation? Yes, this is correct. Just that is the proverb. Empty vessels sounds much. Little learning is a dangerous thing. The people who knows less, they will shout a lot. They will speak anything and everything. But the people who are really brainy, people who are really intelligent, they will always remain calm and quiet. They will try to handle the situation tactfully. They will not try to harm people. They will not speak on others, okay, because their world is confined to their knowledge. They wish to gain more and more knowledge. So, here Dr. Raman was that type of person. He was a very skillful and eminent doctor. And even when the situation was critical, Dr. Raman was remaining silent. How do you think Dr. Raman would have reacted when he saw his friend? So, now when Dr. Raman did see his best friend, what might be his reaction? So, here how Dr. Raman is quite smart in making diagnosis as well as in doing treatment of Gopal. It was an operation day and he was not free till 3 in the afternoon, and the day when Gopal's eldest son had been to see Dr. Raman, it was a day of operation and Dr. Raman was not at all free till 3 p.m. He rushed off street from the clinic to his friend's house, but after operation, directly from the clinic, he went to the friend's house, to Gopal's house in Lawley Extension. Lawley Extension is the name of a street. Okay, where was Gopal living? Gopal was living at Lawley extension. As we are having Mahanadi Vihar and Gandhinagar, Tulsinagar. Likewise, Loli extension is the name of the street where Gopal was living. And Gopal lay in bed as if in sleep. And how was Gopal sleeping? Gopal was laying down on the bed and he was sleeping. Means he was laying as if he is in deep sleep. The doctor stood over him and asked Gopal's wife, how long has he been in bed? And then Dr. Raman just stood there and asked Gopal's wife, how long has he been ill? Means since how long Gopal is in bed? A month and a half, doctor. And what was the duration of Gopal's illness till that time, till the arrival of Dr. Raman? 1.5 months. Okay. 1.5 months. So, who is attending him? Then Dr. Raman is asking, then who is taking care of Gopal? And Gopal's wife is speaking, a doctor in the next street. And his wife is speaking that a doctor from the next street is coming to see him. He comes down. Comes down means to come from one place to another place. He comes down once in 3 days and gives him medicine. And what was that man doing? That doctor is coming once in 3 days and giving medicine to Gopal. What is his name? He had never heard him. Then Dr. Raman asked, what's the name of the doctor? And Dr. Raman has never ever heard the name. Someone I don't know, but I wish he had the goodness to tell me about it. Then Dr. Raman is speaking that someone that I don't know, but he would have the goodness to speak me. Means Dr. Raman was expecting that why that doctor didn't speak to Dr. Raman regarding the illness of Gopal. Why? Could not you have sent me a word earlier? Then he is asking that why didn't you send me the message earlier? We thought you would be busy and did not wish to trouble you unnecessarily. And now see what Gopal's wife is speaking, that we thought that you might be busy. That's why we didn't wish to make any trouble for you without any reason. They were apologetic and miserable. And how were they looking? They means who? They is referring to the kids and wife of Gopal. They were looking miserable, they were looking apologetic, means they were standing and they were looking in such a manner as if they are going to speak sorry to Dr. Raman. There was hardly any time to be lost and there was no time to be lost. Means Dr. Raman was in a hurry because Gopal's condition was not at all good. He took off his coat, he removed his coat and opened his bag. He took out an injection tube, the needle sizzle over the stove sizzle means boil. The sick man's wife whimper in a corner and essayed to ask question. And then what happened? Dr. Raman was not having time with him. He just removed his coat and opened a syringe and boiled it to sterilize it, and he just tried to give an injection. The sick man's wife whimpered. Whimper means to cry, just like to cry like this. Okay, to cry in a soft manner in order to express the pain. In a corner, listen, here pain is not only referring to physical pain. Pain is also referring to mental agony, okay, mental tension, mental dilemma. In a corner, an essayed to ask question. Please don't ask questions, snapped the doctor. And Gopal's wife, the sick man's wife means Gopal's wife, was trying to ask question to Dr. Raman, but Dr. Raman instantly said, please, no question. Okay, means Dr. Raman stopped her from asking question. He looked at the children who were watching the sterilizer and said, send them all away somewhere except the eldest. Then Dr. Raman is speaking. Dr. Raman just noticed the kids, they were watching the sterilizer, they were watching the injection tube, and Dr. Raman told to Gopal's wife, just take all the kids out of the home except the eldest one, because the elder one might be able to help them for something. He sought in means give. He sought in the injection, sat back in his chair, and Dr. Raman gave the injection to Gopal and sat on his chair and gazed at the patient's face for over an hour, and for 1 hour he constantly looked at the face of Gopal. Means Dr. Raman wanted to know what is the change taking place in the facial expression of Gopal. The patient still remained motionless, but even when after 1 hour of giving the injection, Gopal was motionless. The doctor's face gleamed with perspiration, and Dr. Raman's face gleamed. Gleam means shine, Perspiration means sweating. Dr. Raman was sweating, and when on the sweat, on the droplets of sweat, light was falling, it was shining little bit. Gleamed with perspiration, and his eyelids dropped with fatigue. Fatigue means tiredness, and his eyelids were falling down, means he was unable to open his eyes. He had not taken his meal, he had not taken his lunch, and he was very tired. It was an operation day. The sick man's wife stood in a corner and watched silently. And what was Gopal's wife doing? He was standing in a corner and watching everything silently without putting a question. She asked timidly and shyly she asked, "Doctor, shall I make some coffee for you?" Who is asking? Gopal's wife is asking to Dr. Raman, "Doctor, shall I make coffee for you?" "No," he replied, but the doctor denied. Although he felt famished, but still Dr. Raman was feeling very hungry, having missed his midday meal, and he had missed the midday meal of that particular day. He got up and said, "I will be back in few minutes." Then Dr. Raman got up after watching Gopal's face for 1 hour. He was not having any patience, and he told to Gopal's wife that, "I will be back in 1 hour. And in few minutes, not in 1 hour, I will be back in few minutes. Don't disturb him on any account, and I am returning back soon, but don't disturb Gopal on any account." He picked up his bag and went to his car, and he just picked up his bag and went to his car. In a quarter of an hour he was back, and within 15 minutes he returned back, followed by an assistant and a nurse. And who were there? An assistant was there, and a nurse was also there following Dr. Raman. The doctor told the lady of the house, "I have to perform an operation." Then the doctor told to the lady of the house that, "I have to do an operation." Why? She asked faintly, means restlessly. She asked, "Why? What is the reason? Why will you do the operation?" "I will tell you all that soon." Then doctor is calmly speaking, "I will speak. Have patience. Will you leave your son here to help us?" Then he is asking, "Please leave your son so that he can help us, and go over to the next house and stay there till I call you, and go to the next house, remain there unless and until I call you." It means you just go there and remain there only. The lady felt giddy and sank on the floor, and the lady felt giddy. Giddy means what? Something means to feel head drilling like that, and she fell down on the floor, unable to bear the strain, because when she listened, when she heard that Dr. Raman is going to do operation on her husband, she was unable to bear the strain. That's why she fainted on the floor. The nurse attended to her and laid. Actually she was not fainted, means she was feeling so, means what we say, she was feeling so nervous that she was unable to stand also. She fell down on the floor, and the nurse helped her to go into another room. Okay, understood? So here in this unit what is mentioned, it is all about Dr. Raman's work and what he was going to do in order to save Gopal. Okay, and finally Dr. Raman decided that he has to do the operation in order to save the life of Gopal. With this, your unit 3 is over. Now let's go to unit number 4. Let's start unit number 4. So here in the previous class I have told you that, means previously in the previous unit that I told you that Dr. Raman decided to operate on Gopal, and Gopal's wife was curious to know that what's the reason why there will be an operation, but Dr. Raman avoided the answer. So next unit 4 it's written, do doctors let the near relatives know about the seriousness of the patient's condition? Yes, it's correct. Normally though doctors don't speak regarding the seriousness of the health condition of the patient, but still here in this chapter Dr. Raman was a truthful doctor. He used to speak whatever the condition of the patient on face. So Dr. Raman was not quite wasing. And what is mentioned, Dr. Raman was a frank and free person. But situation is on the bed, an ordinary man is not sleeping. His best friend is speaking. So right now either Dr. Raman will be a frank person, or he also will try to hide the truth from Gopal's wife is the important thing. At about 10, listen, in unit 3 I have told you one thing, that is Dr. Raman told that there will be an operation, and he had been to Gopal's wife mostly after 3 o'clock, because it is mentioned that till 3 he was not free, it was an operation day, and Dr. Raman had missed his midday meal. So now it is mentioned at about 8 in the evening 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. means 3 to 8 means this much of time is passed. So in the meantime, operation has taken place. At about 8 in the evening, the patient opened his eyes and stirred slightly in the bed. And what did Gopal do? By 8 o'clock in the evening, Gopal just opened his eye and stirred means moved on the bed little bit. The assistant was overjoyed, and the assistant who was, because Dr. Raman had left Gopal's house alone, and while returning there was an assistant as well as there was a nurse. Okay, they were following Dr. Raman, and it is mentioned that the assistant was very happy, he was overjoyed. He exclaimed, he asked the question enthusiastically, means with much eagerness he asked, "Sir, he will pull through." He will pull through means to be recovered from illness, and the assistant was speaking that, "Sir, he will pull through," because now Gopal is looking. The doctor looked at him coldly and whispered, but Dr. Raman just looked at him coldly, means innocently, with lots of sympathy, with lots of means sorrow in his eyes, said and spoke in a low voice, "I would give anything to see him through, but the heart." Hear what is written. Try to understand it. Dr. Raman is speaking to the assistant, "I would give anything to see him through," means to see him pull through, means to see Gopal's recovery. Dr. Raman is willing to give anything and everything that someone desires. Okay, because he was his best friend in this world. But the heart. So what operation has taken place? Heart surgery has taken place. Okay, but the heart, something has happened to the heart. The pulse has improved, sir. Then the assistant is speaking, "Sir, pulse rate has improved." Well, replied the doctor. The doctor replied, "Well, it's all right. Don't trust it. It is only a false flash up." And Dr. Raman is speaking that don't trust the pulse rate, because it is only a false flash up and very common in these cases. And Dr. Raman is speaking, in these type of cases, these flash ups are very common. He ruminated, means he thought for some time, for a while, and added, "If the pulse will keep up till 8 in the morning, it will go on for the next 40 years. Then Dr. Raman is speaking that if the pulse rate will continue the same till 8 in the morning, then for the next 40 years there will be no problem. Gopal will be fine. But I doubt very much if we shall see anything of it at all after 2 tonight." So what is the deadline? 2 a.m. is the deadline given by Dr. Raman. It means it was known to Dr. Raman that Gopal will not survive. Okay, and what is the nature of Dr. Raman? Dr. Raman was a truthful doctor. He doesn't speak lie regarding the health condition of the patient. And right now he is speaking to the assistant that if the pulse rate will remain same till 8 o'clock in the morning, then everything will remain fine, everything will go good, and the heart will do its function for more 40 years. But I doubt that either we can see the pulse rate or not after 2 o'clock tonight. He sent away the assistant and sat beside the patient, and it was 8 o'clock in the evening. Then Dr. Raman sent the assistant to the clinic, and he sat near Gopal's bed. At about 11, the patient opened his eyes and smiled at his friend. At that time, by 8 o'clock, the patient had opened his eyes, and then he must have slept. Then once again by 11 o'clock, Dr. Gopal opened his eyes and smiled at Dr. Raman. He showed a slight improvement, and there was a little bit improvement in the health condition of Gopal. He was able to take in a little food, and Gopal was also able to take little bit food at that time. A great feeling of relief and joy went through the household. In the meantime, when Gopal opened his eyes, took little bit food, everyone in the family were happy. There was joy, there was happiness. They swam means move around, means to gather around the doctor and poured out their gratitude. Gratitude means thankfulness, and all the family members, means who? Kids of Gopal and Gopal's wife, they just remain in a circle of Dr. Raman and they express their thankfulness. He sat in his seat beside the bed, gazing sternly, means constantly, at the patient's face. And what was Gopal doing? Dr. Raman doing? Dr. Raman was sitting on a chair which was there beside the bed of Gopal, and constantly he was looking at the face of Gopal. Because he was a doctor, by looking at the face only he can understand what's the problem. He sat in his seat, hardly showing any signs of hearing what they were saying to him. But Gopal was sleeping. Dr. Raman was not at all showing, means they were speaking, they were going on speaking. But Dr. Raman's complete attention was on the face of Gopal. He was looking at Gopal constantly. And the sick man's wife asked, is he now out of danger? And finally Gopal's wife asked, now is he out of danger? Without turning his head, the doctor said, give glucose and brandy every 40 minutes. And Dr. Raman was looking at Gopal, just looking. And without turning the head, he said, give glucose and brandy in every hour. In every 40 minutes. So, in 40 minutes duration, just give him glucose and brandy. Couple of spoon will do, and give a couple of spoon, 2 spoon. The lady went away to the kitchen. She felt restless, and the lady went to the kitchen. She was feeling restless because right now Dr. Raman is not speaking anything, and normally it was not the nature of Dr. Raman to hide anything. But when Dr. Raman is not speaking anything, because Dr. Raman doesn't want to utter a lie, so he was remaining silent, and Gopal's wife was unable to bear it, that why this doctor is remaining silent. She felt she must know the truth, whatever it was, and she thought that I should know the truth. What is the condition of my husband's health? I should know it. Why was the great man so evasive? And right now, why this man? Why this doctor is avoiding straightforward answer? It is completely beyond the imagination of Gopal's wife. The suspense was unbearable, and she was unable to bear the suspense. Okay, because look, normally Dr. Raman was not whitewashing. Dr. Raman was not a not a doctor who is to speak lie to the patient, and right now he is not giving any answer to Gopal's wife. That's why she was in a puzzle. Perhaps he could not speak so near the patient's bed. Then she is thinking that it might be possible that Dr. Raman is sitting near her husband's bed. That's why he is not speaking. She beckoned to him just to call someone by the hand movement. She called him from the kitchen doorway. The doctor rose and went over. Then the doctor rose and went to Gopal's wife. She asked, what about him now? How is he? Then Gopal's wife asked him, what is his condition? How is he right now? The doctor bit his lips and replied, just bite the lip and replied, looking at the floor, don't get excited. Then Dr. Raman was just standing like this and said, don't get excited. Unless you must know about it, don't ask now. You don't know anything, so please right now don't ask any question. Who is speaking? Dr. Raman is speaking to Gopal's wife. Her eyes opened wide in terror, and Gopal's wife started looking like this. Her eyes were wide in terror. She was afraid what Dr. Raman is speaking. She claps her hands, means to hold her hands. Okay, she just hold her hands and implored, means requested, tell me the truth. And she started speaking. Please, please tell me the truth. Whatever the condition is, please tell me the truth. She started requesting the doctor. And the doctor replied, I would rather not talk to you now. Then the doctor said, better I should not talk to you right now. Because look, the fact is that Dr. Raman doesn't want to speak. What is the condition of Gopal? But when Gopal's wife was asking so many times, she was asking like this, finally Dr. Raman said, better I should not talk to you right now. He turned round and went back to his chair. He just turned and returned to his chair. A terrible wailing means cry, big cry, loud cry, shot through the still house. There was calm and quiet because it was 11 p.m. There was full silence atmosphere, and Gopal's wife was crying like anything. The peasant stirred. The peasant again moved and looked about in bewilderment, and Gopal was puzzled. Why someone is crying in the house? The doctor got up again, and when Dr. Raman noticed that Gopal is looking, Gopal is puzzled that what has happened, why someone is crying. Dr. Raman got up, went over to the kitchen door. He just went near the kitchen, drew it in securely, properly, and shut up the wheel. And what did Dr. Raman do? He just went near the kitchen door, closed it silently, and now the wail, the cry has been stopped. Okay, with this much your unit 4 is over. So here what is the theme? The theme is, here Dr. Raman has done the operation on Gopal, that is also heart surgery, because he is putting the question heart, okay. And the assistant was thinking that Gopal will survive, because by 8 o'clock only Gopal opened his eyes. But Dr. Raman is speaking that either they could see something like this by 2 p.m. after night or not is a question. And Gopal's wife was asking so many questions, because he wanted that she should know the truth, all these things. And in the meantime, Dr. Raman doesn't want to answer Gopal's wife's question. So when Gopal's wife started crying, Dr. Raman got up. He just closed the door in order to stop the noise which was coming from the kitchen. Okay, understood? You just watch it properly. Any doubt you can ask me. So till next class. Thank you. Have a nice time, all of you.